You know, the most important thing when you're really working on improving you, and whether it be in your sport, with your business, career, whatever it is, but I'll say sport because it's my area of expertise. But when you're working on improving you, the best thing that you can do is evaluate actually how you're going. Now, the best way to do that is to do a daily evaluation of actually what's going on and what you're learning. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share with you how to, I've actually got 8 questions on how to evaluate your day, because the big thing is, well, what kind of questions do you need to really ask yourself? And so I'm going to share with you the questions that I've developed over the last few years that really work for me, and that you can utilize those questions if that's what you'd like to do, or you can create your own questions that you know that's going to help you evaluate actually what's going on for you. Okay, so are we ready for these 8 questions? Now, it'll only take 10 minutes out of your time to do that, but it's really important that you're actually learning from what's actually going on so that you're improving. Question 1, did I get my tasks done today? Now, this could be referring to also your skills, whatever skills that you've been working on and so on, but everything that you've set up in your diary on what you needed to do, have you got them done today? Now, remember, we've talked about my morning miracles, about questions that you have to do in the mornings leading up to what you're going to do for the day. Well, we're evaluating. So those series of activities and tasks and skills and all those types of things that you need to have been working on, did you get those set tasks done that you had planned out in your diary today? Question 2, what are my successes from today? So what were the successes that I had? I know you can't see my face really well, but I need you to see this view. Okay, it's pretty awesome. But what were the successes that you had? So everything that you planned out today, did you achieve them? Did you get them done? Because you've got to look at the little wins that you actually do, because you've got to be thinking about it's the little things that you do that's going to give you the big results that you're really after. And if you're not focusing on getting the little results done, like those daily goals that you want to get achieved for the day, they're not going to give you the big results, right? So you always make sure it's attention to detail. So question 2 is, what were your successes today? Okay, question 3, were there any barriers today? So the thing is did you have anything that became like a roadblock for you that you found really tough to work through? You may not have allowed time to work through a specific skill or a task or a project that you needed to get done. Were there any barriers that came up for you today? This is a simple yes or no answer. It's a very simple one, but we need to make sure that you're actually identifying if there were barriers. Okay, question 4. If there were barriers, what were those barriers? So if you encountered that you did have some barriers come up for you for that day that you've been working on your, whatever it is that you've been working on throughout the day for your plan, and you've encountered barriers, write them down. What were they? I know a lot of the time my barriers tend to be that I don't give myself enough time to do specific projects and skills and tasks that I want to work on. So I find that that's a big barrier that comes up for me, is that I'm just not getting the timing right, because I'm not anticipating how much time I actually need to make sure that I'm getting specific things done. So that could be that's a simple barrier, but that's the one that I always encounter. But what have been the barriers that have come up for you when you're working on things and you just seem to, can't seem to figure it out, or you seem to be struggling through it, or there's a particular skill that you've been working on and you haven't been able to just quite get it, even though you're working really hard at getting it right? Did you encounter something? Was it something to do with your mindset? Or, be really specific and write out a lot of detail actually what's going on, because it's going to help you identify what the barriers are, because, hey, we do get them. That's real, that's being realistic. But the thing is okay, now we're identifying what those barriers are. It's going to help us really think about how we're going to work through them. Question 5, are there any lessons that I've learnt today? So again, this can be can be related to barriers. Are there barriers that have come up for you? What were the lessons that you have learned? Even with the successes that you have had, what did you notice with the successes that you've had? I find that when I've worked on a skill and I'm really zoned in on getting that skill right, I find that really successful because I've been able to tune my mental side, my focus, my concentration, staying in the moment. I've been able to find that that really works really well for me. So I would write down that's a positive lesson. But also you could look at some negative things, like, I was talking about a barrier that I've got with regards to timing and so on. I can't seem to get my timing right with specific projects and so on. So what is the lesson that I've learned? Well, I've got to make sure that I'm allowing enough time so I can get those projects done or work on that skill, so that I know that so that it's creating success for me. So the thing is what lessons are you learning from each day? Because it's really important that you understand the lessons that you're learning, because this is how you're going to improve yourself and this is how you're going to be able to grow. Question 6, how can I be better? So what is it that you need to be doing that's going to make you get better? Okay, so we've looked at barriers in these series of questions, what the barriers were for you. We've looked at lessons that you've learned. Okay, so what we need to do now is we need to look at those and go, okay, how can I be better? What is it that I need to do that can really help improve me? Now, mine specifically is always making sure that I'm working on the fundamentals. I'm very much about getting your basics right, getting the foundations right, getting the fundamentals right. So whatever skill you're working on, you need to make sure that those fundamentals are in place. So even though that I'm working on building my business, I've got to make sure that mentally I'm doing specific things each day. They're the fundamentals. So I'm setting myself up for a successful day. And then also what parts of the business do I need to make sure that I'm working on each day? Again, they're the fundamentals to ensure that I am getting better, okay, that the business is working better, that I'm growing, okay, because it's not about just you becoming the sports person that you want to become or the entrepreneur that you want to become, but it's also about how you're going to be growing and developing you here, because that's going to help you achieve what it is that you need to achieve. Okay, question 7. What do I need to do tomorrow to get me one step closer to my dreams and goals? So we're identifying what's going on for you, aren't we? Okay, so we're looking at lessons learned, we're looking at barriers, we're looking at how you can be better. Okay, so what is the one thing that you need to be able to do tomorrow that's going to help you get one step closer? You only have to come up with one, but it's going to get you one step closer to your goals and your dreams, okay? Because it's all about moving forward, and by moving forward, we're doing like little incremental things each time, right? So it's those the little incremental things that we do every day that's going to compound and give us the results. So what is that one thing that you'll need to do tomorrow that's going to get you a one step closer to your goals? Now, this is the final question. This one's a really good one. What questions do I need to ask myself to achieve my goals? Right, now it's really making you think about what is it, what are the questions that you really need to be asking yourself so you can achieve your goals. Because if you're not asking yourself the right questions, you're not going to get the answers that you want. You don't want to ask yourself like, oh, why does this always happen to me? Why do I never get picked for a team? Why, a negative question, because what's going to happen is that you're going to get a negative result. So the thing that we need to make sure is that you're asking yourself questions in a way that your brain is going to go, okay, all right, Tiff's asking me this question. Now I've got to go and figure out and look around and research and investigate, how am I going to get these results that I'm after. So the questions, it's all about those questions, right? So my question right now for me, because I'm in, building a new business, Reach Your Potential with Tiff, and I want to be working a lot with athletes and helping, girls and teenage girls and women achieve their goals. What is it that I need to do to be able to generate a particular amount of income that I want to earn? What kind of programs do I need to create in order to help these young women and women and teenage girls that achieve their goals in their life? It's all about asking yourself the right questions. So when I ask myself, okay, well, what type of programs do I need to develop? I'm starting to think about, okay, well, this is what I need to be doing. But if you're not asking yourself the correct questions, right, the right questions, you're not going to get the answers that you're actually looking for. And at the end of the day, it's all about asking yourself the right questions so you're starting to look and figure out what the right answers are. Okay, so what did you think of that? That was the 8 questions on, I call it my daily evaluation or evening evaluation. You can call it whatever you like, but it's 8 specific questions on what you need to be doing in order to help you. So it's really evaluating what's going on, so you're getting that one step closer every day towards the goals and the dreams that you actually want. Now, I wish that I was, shown this when I was so much younger. Because I would just work really hard, especially I was pursuing the dream of becoming especially #1 tennis player in the world, and I was really pursuing that, and I was working really, really hard, and all I did each day was I'd do the same drills every day, and I would work really, really hard physically, but I didn't understand, I didn't know that you could, ask yourself all these questions and work on figuring out how to evaluate what's going on and how to plan out what type of questions to ask yourself in the morning and so on. And the thing is I want to make sure that you're really out there and you're going after what you want to achieve in your life. And if you have a series of questions that you can ask yourself and then answer them and evaluate what's going on, this is where the improvements come from. This is where the growth, you're going to start expanding and the growth is going to happen for you. So we want to make sure that you're asking yourself those correct questions, right? There's no wrong in the sense of, the wrong question. The wrong question is going to be asking yourself a negative question. So they don't have to be perfect, and you'll figure it out along the way. But you're most welcome to use these questions, because that's why I have shared them with you, because I want you to start taking action and really understanding ways in which you can improve yourself and really achieve the goals that you want. And that would be really awesome if you put it into action. So I hope you enjoyed what you heard today. I'd love it if you could leave a comment, what you like best about what you heard today. That would be really, really awesome. And if you know that anyone that would benefit from the videos that I share, I'd love it if you could share them with your friends, because we want to build the Reach Your Potential with Tiff community as big as we possibly can. So that'd be really awesome. But right now what I want you to do is dream big, believe in you, and go after your dreams. Have an awesome day. Take care. Talk soon. Bye-bye.